Glad we met. A tale from Umuaku. The evening wind carried a song that only the hills could understand. It whispered through the tall grasses, swayed the ancient trees, and sighed softly over a quiet village cradled between earth and sky. This village was called Umuaku, a place where stories were born from the soil itself. In this village lived a young woman named Amara. Her beauty was not one painted by beads or colored by oils, but one born of stillness, the quiet beauty that blooms from the strength of endurance. Yet behind her calm eyes lived shadows of a pain long carried. Once, she had trusted a friend. Trusted so deeply that when betrayal came, it cut through her heart like a blade through silk. From that day, Amara built walls around her kindness. She learned to walk alone, to love no one, to offer help to none. In her heart, she sealed a vow, never again would she be made a fool by mercy. But life, as it often does, had plans to soften what pain had hardened. The morning the change began, the sun rose golden and warm, spreading light like honey over the hills. Amara lifted her clay pot, placed it upon her head, and began her long walk toward the distant stream. The forest greeted her gently, the trees swayed as if in prayer, their leaves whispering secrets of old. Halfway down the path, a faint voice broke through the quiet hum of nature, weak, trembling, and dry as harmattan dust. "My daughter, please," said the voice, "a little water for an old traveler." Amara turned. There, beneath the shade of an iroko tree, sat a frail old man. His skin was tired, his eyes dim from years of walking life's road. His feet were cracked and dusty, his robe torn at the hem. Amara hesitated. The stream was still far away. Her pot, nearly empty. What would she drink if she gave him what remained? But something stirred within her, a small, quiet ache. A memory, perhaps, of the girl she used to be before distrust took root. With a sigh, she knelt and poured the last of her water into the man's gourd. "Kindness," the old man whispered as he drank, "is water to the soul. Amara, glad we met." Before she could speak, a wind rose between them, warm and strange. When she looked again, the old man was gone. Only faint footprints glowed softly in the dust. That night, as stars stretched across the heavens, Amara began her journey home. But the forest was no longer silent. Somewhere between the trees, a melody called to her, soft, haunting, like a bird singing her name. Amara. Amara. The sound drew her deeper into the woods. Fear flickered inside her, but curiosity burned brighter. Her feet moved of their own accord, guided by a pull she could not explain. Then, through the shadows, she saw it, a golden shimmer, like dawn caught inside a cave. She stepped closer, and wonder filled her breath. Before her lay a cavern glowing with light. A clear pool shimmered at its heart, glowing brighter than moonlight. Around it stood baskets of fruit, gold, and woven silk, treasures untouched by time. "What is this place?" she whispered, her voice trembling. A familiar voice echoed, gentle and distant, the voice of the old man. "This is the spring of reward. Those who give with pure hearts will never thirst. Take only what you need, my child. And remember, kindness plants seeds that never die." Tears filled Amara's eyes. She filled her pot, not out of greed, but gratitude. Then, pressing her hand to her heart, she whispered softly, "Glad we met." The miracle of Umuaku. When Amara returned to the village, her people gathered in wonder. The fruits she carried never spoiled. The water she poured healed the sick and soothed the weary. Even the children who touched her pot laughed brighter, their spirits lifted as though kissed by sunlight. "Amara, how did this happen?" they asked. And she smiled, her heart lighter than it had been in years. "I helped a stranger," she said quietly. "And I'm glad we met." From that day on, Umuaku changed. No traveler left hungry. No beggar left unseen. Kindness became the rhythm of their living, the language of their hearts. The return. Years passed, and Amara grew old and wise. Her hair turned silver like the moonlight she once chased through the forest. One quiet evening, she sat beneath the same iroko tree, the one where the old man had once rested. As she watched the sun melt into gold on the horizon, a small boy appeared on the path. He was dusty from travel, his eyes tired but kind. "Grandmother," he said softly, "please, a little water." Amara smiled. "Of course, my child." She handed him her cup. He drank deeply, then looked at her with a knowing light in his eyes. "Glad we met," he whispered. Her breath caught. She looked again, but the boy had vanished. Only a single white feather lay where he had stood, glowing faintly in the evening light. Amara lifted it, tears warming her cheeks. She finally understood, the stranger had never truly left her. He had walked beside her all along, in every act of kindness, every smile, every soul touched by her change. "Glad we met, indeed," she whispered to the wind. And so, the people of Umuaku still tell her story. The story of Amara, who learned that kindness is never wasted. That every soul we meet carries a hidden purpose. And that the smallest act of love can echo for generations. For somewhere, someday, someone will look at you with gratitude in their eyes and say, "Glad we met."
Thanks for watching Obi Tales. Don't forget to subscribe.